Come through, queen. I wanna see ya. Come through, queen.
Hi, everyone. It's Dan.
And Brendan.
And this is Come Through, Queen. Hey, Brendan.
Hello.
Welcome back from P-Town.
Thank you.
We get into, in our pre-show this week on Patreon, however, we got to get into something that if everyone's had been listening and learning and to what I was preaching and praying and saying.
Oh my God.
Back in May.
You love to take credit for
we
something.
reported on something that nobody was talking about.
Yeah.
And that was this alleged reality show. And the reason that we were sucked into it was
Kyle Cooke.
Kyle Cooke of Summer House fame, Summer House, WinterHouse fame.
Dan has a crush on him. That's why he was sucked in.
Crush is a strong word. I have an affinity.
Okay.
An affinity for Kyle Cooke. So we were like, wait a minute. Because this is the first time anyone from like Summer House, WinterHouse, even Vanderpump Rules has been sucked into like a greater reality show.
Right.
We've seen Housewives on Big Brother, Dancing with the Stars, everything really. But never like these, like the kids shows. As we like to call them on Bravo. So we reported on this and we were like, okay, we'll wait and see. This was back in May. I had forgotten about it.
Me too. Totally.
I thought like, was this scrapped or something?
Also, like, there's the thing where there's all these other reality competition shows with like reality stars coming out, like the one that Ebony K. Williams was in, that I tried to watch an episode for.
It was bad.
The one that Kenya Moore is in, that's I don't even know when it's coming out.
Okay, yeah.
But so this is just an added thing.
Yeah. But I don't like, for some reason, this one feels legit to me, except there's like an asterisk I'm going to put on and then we'll get to it as I read this article.
This one just has more of our friends, I would say.
A lot of friends. Okay, this is from Deadline. Peacock sets premiere date for the Traitors reality show competition with Real Housewives and Big Brother stars. Okay, so Deadline says Peacock has revealed the cast and premiere date for their new reality competition series, The Traitors. The show, hosted by Alan Cumming, will drop all 10 episodes on January 12th, 2023.
Okay.
Now, pause. Peacock, stop.
I know.
Like, we're going to get into this later with Miami. I don't need, like, 12 hours of programming in one day.
Haven't you learned from White Lotus, the success of White Lotus?
Yes.
Go week by week, baby.
I mean, a reality competition series, having the whole series drop in one day, like, how do you have an online conversation about it?
I hate it. I mean, like the best part of the summer is Big Brother airing 3 times a week.
Yeah, even though like we're getting spoiled, like it's just spread out. It's something to follow. Like, let's say I watch it and I love it. Like, what do I say? Oh, I'm glad this person won. Like, that's not nice to people who haven't watched it.
I will say, I am glad to be with Alan Cumming. I think he's a great choice as a host.
Okay. So, set in a remote castle in Scottish Highlands and based on the Dutch series of the same name, celebrities and civilians will come together to complete a series of challenges with the objective of earning a cash prize of up to $250,000.
Okay.
The catch? 3 of the contestants, coined the Traitors, will devise a plan to steal the prize from the other contestants, coined the Faithful.
Wow.
The show will feature reality stars and celebrity contestants, including Ari Luyendijk Jr. from The Bachelor or Bachelorette.
Don't know.
Brandi Glanville from Real Houses of Beverly Hills.
No.
Which, pause, the hardest working woman in reality television.
Sure. She was entertaining on Celebrity Big Brother, so I'm sure she will be very entertaining here.
But like, she's... I need to like hit the Wikipedia page. How many shows has this woman been on?
She's always saying yes.
She's always saying yes. Siri Fields from Survivor.
I'm not sure.
We were told by Evan that like she matters.
Yeah.
Cody Calafiore from Big Brother. Care.
Familiar, yeah.
Familiar. Kate Chastain, Below Deck.
Care.
And it's like this, even though I was introduced via the chat room, this will be like my proper introduction, I would say.
Right, because you refused to ever go into the below deck
Although
world.
I do think, from what I understand, the
Below Deck Adventure Yacht
Adventure Yacht
with Heather Gay and
with
Angie.
Heather Gay and Angie is a 2-parter.
Yeah.
So
First episode aired.
Yeah, so maybe like by next week I'll watch both.
Maybe.
I don't want to make any promises. Kyle Cooke Summer House.
You care the most.
So like, and we knew all this cast already, but when I saw the promo image, all the images, I mean, I think that the promo images are chef kiss beautiful, but like, I was just so proud.
Do
of him.
you think you're the single biggest Kyle Cooke fan in the world?
I mean, you got these Loverboy meet and greets. The girls are lining up.
That's true.
And I'm not lining up anywhere.
You should.
Rachel Riley from Big Brother, a BB legend.
A BB legend. She was just on another reality show with Janelle. Another reality competition.
That was, but like we reported on that, and that was like a one and done episode thing. Yeah. Reza Farahan from Shaws at Sunset. Care. Ryan Lochte, Olympian.
Care.
Yeah. And then Stephanie LaGrossa Kendrick from Survivor. We'll wait and see. And then there's 8 civilians. Yeah, for me, it's just like the 10 episodes is tough. But I do think like January is the time to do it if you're going to do it. Because people are
inside,
hunkering down.
Cozy.
Yeah. Okay. We'll see. Maybe that'll be a good activity for that weekend.
I wonder if I'll watch the whole thing.
You got to support our boy.
He's not our boy. He's your boy.
My boy. Okay. Speaking of which, should we
jump into WinterHouse?
Jump into WinterHouse?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this I psychotically watched between when we recorded last Thursday. I got home around 10?
Sure.
And I was staying up because I had a train to P-Town at 2:40 a.m. So I might be a little fuzzy on this, but we'll power through it.
Sure, yeah. So this is continuing the arc of Lindsay and Carl taking the house by storm.
Yes.
And it's kind of crazy, other people are being paid as full-time cast members, and these two are the ones that are really the reason to show up.
Stars of the show?
Yeah. We're picking up with the Lindsay Jason conversation, which you can understand his POV to a degree, but more so Lindsay told him she's going to talk about this.
Yeah, and she just did an interview that was released today where she clarified this more and really hit home the point that she had told him.
Yeah.
So this is kind of just a non-conversation because if you already had the conversation, what are we doing here?
Yeah. So I guess what his mistaken understanding is she then needs to tell him when articles from various magazines and blogs
so that he can also have a quote in it.
Are talking about it when those articles are going to come out and then I want to be able to say something too, and it's well, she doesn't control these outlets asking him for a comment.
Right, exactly.
But it is kind of surprising that these outlets would not ask him for a comment.
Yeah, it is, but it's also it's what were the outlets anyways?
Oh yeah, I mean, listen, for the blogs, I'm not really expecting anything. It's don't expect anything from us. But for a magazine, a magazine, I would expect something.
Yeah.
So yeah, but it just kind of ended. I wonder was the whole reason him being asked back was
for this
conversation?
I don't know.
It kind of feels like it.
The casting of this show is such a mishmash that I don't really understand it.
I mean, I appreciate that. In my mind, I appreciate the idea of this is the JV to potentially get more Summer House cast members.
Yeah, but why not even just nod to him actually being at the Summer House in last season? He was erased completely.
I know that would have been a fun touch of oh, I saw you this summer. Yeah. Yeah. So that's that. But our couple hub key, they were just getting it from every angle.
I know it's all about the Austin telling everyone that Hub House allegedly touched his dick
Yeah.
the night of Amanda and Kyle's wedding.
Yeah. And we keep splitting off into different groups. Like the next day after the Squash the Beef, Fox and Foxtails night, like some people are ice fishing and some people are drinking espresso martinis. I know what group you would be.
Yeah. I'm not fucking ice fishing. Actually, no, I would ice fish.
Would you ice fish?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like nice to be in a lawn chair.
Yeah. I mean, it's very, I feel like ice fishing is even like less strenuous than like fishing on a boat.
Yeah. And if you drink espresso martinis, you have to talk to Craig, which is more strenuous than ice fishing.
Oh, I saw something that I don't believe where like, this is online on Instagram. Someone posted how like this cast member convinced 2 other cast members to not show up to the reunion, and now there's not going to be a reunion.
Oh, I heard about that. I don't believe it either
I don't
because
believe
we didn't have a reunion last season.
And this is like last season was only 6 episodes. I think this is like 8 episodes. 8-episode series don't get reunions.
And like how like Craig has taken a pummeling.
Yeah.
It was implied that it was Craig.
Yeah.
He's taken a pummeling on these TV shows for years. So like I think if anything he would want the reunion because that's an extra check.
Yeah. And like Andy loves him.
Yeah. So much.
It's not going to be that much of a pummeling.
Yeah. Well, no, but then Andy also likes to pummel these, especially specifically the men of the kid shows.
Okay, yeah. Oh, you know, one thing I wanted to say about Traitors that like slipped my mind. Just to quickly, I mean, we're still in the same thing.
Sure.
You know who really fumbled the bag? Jax. Because in another world,
he would be.
Jax would be in Kyle's spot on this show.
He did fumble the bag.
Yeah.
I mean, also just like Vanderpump Rules was off the air for so long and then came back and he wasn't on it, but it was like,
I know, but like how so many of them just ruined their own opportunities by being like truly terrible people.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, listen, you got to give like the Summer House cast some credit. Like they could be messy, but like, I don't think any of them are like really bad people. The Summer House kids had the benefit of watching what not to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Metaverse is like concocting a 2-month relationship out of the week they've been together.
Oh yeah, her math here. Are
like,
they together still to this day?
I don't think so.
Because he was on Watch What Happens Live recently and he said that he wasn't,
Yeah.
right?
And I also think like Metaverse has not engaged with this show at all, really.
I was going to ask, do you think Metaverse will sit in Watch What Happens Live? Like, will she be there?
She's not there tonight.
Mm-hmm.
We have an episode next week. And then I am like 99.9% sure the finale's the following week.
Okay.
I don't see her coming out for those last 2 episodes.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah. Especially like we've seen everyone really. Mm-hmm. I just don't see her coming out.
It would be funny if they had Carl and Lindsay in the seats and then Metaverse behind the bar. Because in the Metaverse you don't have legs anyways.
Yes. We got genius. Okay. We learn what made Carl change his tune about Lindsay. Her showing up to his apartment in the Barbie up to half up, half down, hot pink dress, which she has gone on to like post on her Instagram, that look.
Sometimes Carl's corny.
Yeah.
I'm like I've loved Carl on the record.
Yeah.
But like sometimes I'm like,
I do think he is navigating this new relationship. He looks like a little lame in this.
he looks lame because his partner's being accused of like hooking up or trying to get with another like alpha guy in the house.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Carl is trying to be a supportive partner. So he's not like going after his own partner.
Yeah.
So he's in between a rock and a hard place. And
Sure.
the hard place was allegedly Austin's dick.
and a 6-piece chicken nugget.
Yeah.
Okay. I gotta give credit to King Luke.
Well, he's a soldier.
He is a Hubhouse Radkey super fan.
Yeah.
Ride
or die.
Running over to, like, it's like Heather Gay, you want to see a ride or die?
Yeah.
Look at Luke Goldbergson or whatever his name.
Luke Darby soon.
Oh my God, Luke! He's gonna take. Okay, each time a new picture crops up,
I know.
I'm more and more shocked.
They were just dressed as like an elf and like Santa.
And, like, this is part of the show now.
I know. It's like we're gonna have Ashley Darby in the Hamptons at some point.
Oh, so Luke is not in this summer house.
I mean,
coming
next
up.
summer.
I know, but I wonder. Next up on the rotation is WinterHouse. Do we film a WinterHouse where Ashley Darby shows up?
I think maybe.
If that happens, I will run down the street screaming. If that happens.
Okay.
Could you imagine?
I mean, it's what's happening. All these shows are now becoming each other. And it's like, I thought it was only going to be the kids shows that were going to start overlapping. But now that Luke and Ashley changed the game.
But, like, spoiler alert, Ashley's a kid. She's right in the middle of all their ages.
I know. She's like our age.
Oh my God.
Younger than me, right?
She's like your age. She's younger than me.
Okay.
Yeah. She might be younger than you.
Maybe.
Oh my God. So, like, Luke is kind of clawing his way back.
He's smart to do it.
Yeah, which I didn't think he had it in him.
I know, but Andy really helped him. I mean, Ashley was the one who set her sights on him, and then Andy became obsessed with that.
Yeah. Wait, did Ashley set the sights? I thought someone said it.
I think
We gotta roll footage.
we got to roll footage, but I think the conversation was at Watch What Happens Live, and Andy was like, BravoCon's coming up. Are there any guys, young guys on Bravo who you want me to set you up with? And I think she was like, someone showed me photos of Luke from Summer House or something like that.
Huh. I thought it was either Andy or a third party.
Maybe.
But your version sounds right too. Okay. So just everyone's kind of like, Austin, you need to go apologize or say what's being said, because like everyone knows except for Lindsay and Carl, and then at some point like Lindsay knows something,
Yeah.
and not Carl.
Yeah.
And Austin goes, instead of apologizing for what he's been saying all the past 2 days, apologizes for Watch What Happens Live.
It's so funny.
Which, I mean, I watched that Watch What Happens Live either live or the following morning, and it was like one for the books.
But it was like bad too.
It was bad for the books.
It was bad. I mean, it was good for the books. It was good for TV, but
Yeah.
it was like bad that she was sitting there and he was being such a bitch.
Yeah.
I have a question about the rooms. What do you think of like Carl and Lindsay taking somebody else's room?
Oh, I mean, it made sense.
Yeah.
You hate when like a couple takes a room.
Well, because have you slept on a twin-sized bed in the middle of the home?
I've slept in many beds in many circumstances.
Okay.
It's not like I've been in a relationship my entire life.
I know, but I just think it's unfair. Singles rights.
You're Brendan's a singles rights activist. I mean, Austin is in a whole bed by himself, sharing a room with Luke.
Yeah, so he had it better off than I did.
But Luke has been in that room all season.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where are they?
I mean, they could sleep next to their soldier. They are his best friend.
They should sleep next to their soldier. The whole army could be together.
It would make sense. They could strategize.
They could strategize. Yeah.
During pillow talk.
Fair enough. I just have to bring up the preview, Batula, you try to touch his dick, and then Lindsay's response, in the middle of eating McDonald's.
What a better time to do it.
I mean, just pairs so well.
Dick and McDonald's.
Oh my God. I gotta say, great program. But doesn't compare to an iconic episode of television, Potomac.
Yeah.
This Miami trip. And the fact that, we're on this like run of great episodes, and then it ends with a mid-season trailer.
I know.
So there's just so much more to come.
And we're like in Miami, and Miami's premiering this week.
Yeah, I actually looked up the timing of it all.
Mm-hmm.
So we will be covering 2 episodes of Miami in just a moment. The 2 episodes of Miami, however, were filmed before, like 2 weeks before the Potomac Gals were there.
What month is this? Like March, April?
It's April.
Okay.
So the Potomac Gals are there, I think, like the first week of May.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nice.
And Miami was filming mid-April.
Nice.
Okay. So Miami. And Miami with the Potomac Gals, I just can't believe this to me feels main trip.
Right, and we still have something else coming.
We still have main trip coming.
Where are they going main trip?
It's something international.
Okay. They go international a lot.
Deserved.
Deserved, but it's like just funny where like Salt Lake obviously can't get out of town basically. And then like Roni after like Morocco only really did like Mexico and then like stuff local.
Ranj was trapped for a while too.
Ranj was trapped, yeah.
Yeah. We've had so many extenuating circumstances. Okay, but Potomac. We have Jacqueline taking over hosting duties for a while.
Beautiful.
Very awkwardly.
Do you think there's hope for a future with Jacqueline?
I mean, that really
depends
on Mia's future, which I don't really see a reason why they would change this cast.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't see Jacqueline getting an upgrade.
I fear that someone is going to piss off Karen enough that things are going to get a little too tense, and we're not going to be able to like get back together like these women always do. Well, I feel like Robin's going. Okay.
So I was going to bring this up later when we get into like Robin, Candace, but spoiler alert, we learned that Robin was at the Candace DC show.
I know.
So, and was the only housewife there. So they're clearly good at this point.
Which is wild.
Which doesn't really make sense. And they do a good job of not letting us in on where everyone stands.
Yeah, they aren't like posting like other people used to.
Yeah. So I loved the Karen tribute segment of everyone's most iconic Karen moments, which is kind of a nod to our Patreon series that will be continuing in the new year.
Oh, yeah.
Of most iconic moments. Our most iconic moment showed up there, the wig shift.
Yeah.
But there were some other fun ones, some that I forgot about, like Ashley stomping around with one of Karen's wigs was really funny.
Yeah, I completely forgot about that scene, but it was such a joy back watching that.
Yeah.
Why doesn't that make it into like the reels of most iconic Housewives moments?
Well, maybe now it will.
Yeah.
Yeah. We had Karen and the tongue.
Mm-hmm.
We had Karen at the barnyard, backyard, clink clink moment. Did we have the sneakers? I don't think we had the sneakers.
No, but that is...
that is actually...
That...
a runner-up.
You're ready to walk around. It's so funny because...
It's just so funny coming from Giselle, who, like, everyone makes fun of night and day for fashion.
I think that's why it hit better. But, like, even Monique laughing at that was so good.
Yeah. Okay. So Then we get into a Candace Jacqueline fight. The Mia's representative.
I love Mia's representative.
Mia's representative would have been the line of the episode, if not like 10 more things happening this episode.
I just think like Candace has such a way with words.
A wordsmith.
She should really. I guess she does write. Like she writes songs, but she should really like write a book.
Okay, maybe she will. Yeah.
But like a novel.
Oh, fiction.
Yeah.
Okay. She's getting into Giselle's lane. Then.
You know, I as a Giselle fan
should read the book.
Have never read the book.
But
I've been turning on her recently.
You're well, and you're also famously not reading during sabbatical.
Yeah,
Don't put words in front of Brendan because he won't be able to get through them.
I'm like so stupid now. It's like actually like
a proud idiot.
Yeah.
Thank God we only have a few more weeks left. Okay. So the night ends with a lot of like turmoil with Candace, which causes her to do an Instagram live.
Which I love. Potomac has had some iconic Instagram lives that appeared on the show, like when Karen went to bed.
I mean, this isn't when Karen didn't want to go out and wanted to talk to the fans. That was so good. Yeah. So the other girls don't know about the Instagram live until Robin goes and takes a shit. I'm like, the fact that we need to constantly
talk about her BMs,
like, especially even with this, like, you couldn't have just said, "Oh, I was just scrolling through Instagram and saw this." Like, no, I was on the toilet doing number 2.
I will say that is a great time to focus and like be on your phone.
Yeah, sure. Taking a film.
I watch a lot of TikToks.
Oh my God, you are the Robin of this podcast.
No.
Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna split off into groups. We got Karen, Mia's representative, and Giselle, of all people, driving fast cars.
Giselle's outfit during this.
An iconic fashion moment. And we kind of got like a mishmash of people going on a little paddle boat. So, like, we've seen 100 of these paddle bikes.
We're
on water now.
As a society, we need to get rid of these. I don't like them facing each other at that little bar and drinking a little White Claw or whatever they always have to do. I think Nashville, Charleston, cities like that have ruined culture in a lot of ways with these little paddle bikes.
Yeah. But we're taking it to the oceans now. But Candace asks the car if she could invite Wendy. And it's really Robin's the one would have an issue with it. Because, I mean, Ashley's already hung out with Wendy.
Right.
Cha-Cha, who are you to say anything?
Cha-Cha's the real grand dame.
I gotta say, there's a lot of, like, funny memes right now of making fun of Cha-Cha.
Like seek
him out.
She was always a flop, but it seems like her light's just a little dimmer now.
My God. Oof. Like Eeyore. She's like Eeyore on film.
No.
She's giving Eeyore.
Okay.
She's like moping around. I need a bathroom. Like, shut up. Okay. But we learned on our little paddle boat, eating our little sandwiches.
They were like 7-Eleven sandwiches too.
Yeah.
Like anything that comes in that like
Plastic.
triangle cardboard thing.
Very like airport.
Very Pret a manger.
Oh my God. I don't know if I include this in my Europe review, but in London, you can't walk a block without falling on top of Pret a manger.
Well, yeah, that's the gag.
I know, that's the gag of this.
That's like the gag of Pret.
No one prepared me. Like, I don't think there's anything in New York as ubiquitous. Like maybe Starbucks was more at one point.
It's very Boston Dunkin' Donuts. When I was in college, I could stand in front of the Dunkin' Donuts that was in my dorm, look to the right, Dunkin' Donuts, look straight, see a Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah. You're a North Star. Yeah. So those sad sandwiches, but then Robin, like, beginning to announce, then thinking like, no, let me save this for later. My private marriage to Juan that I'm planning.
It's very you save it for the show.
Save it for the show. Let's save it for like a larger group scene.
What you do now, you used to be very strict about save it for the show, but now you do, I should save it for the show, and then you just say what you were going to say anyways. Because
I'll probably forget anyway. I come into this every week, so many ideas, and like only like 25% stick with me.
They all just fade out of your brain.
Well, like you don't want to like write it all out, and then like I'm like, let me read my script. Like you got to just go with the flow, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's how you do a podcast, baby.
That's how you do a podcast. It only took 7 years to figure it out. Okay. So we're gonna go home, and we're constantly at dinner.
Yeah.
And it feels like the one meal of the day, really.
You gotta eat.
If there's one thing you gotta do, it's you gotta eat.
Well, I think they're doing like breakfast catered at home, and then they go out for dinner. But this, we're going downstairs for dinner. Is this meal?
We're at Santorini. We're by a pool.
Oh yeah.
It starts raining later on Giselle, deservedly. But executive producer Ashley, everyone's calling her the executive producer of this episode, secretly inviting Wendy. And like, if anyone should have done it, it should have been Candace.
I know, but Ashley's a producer. I mean, Ashley's producing a Bravo relationship for the ages right now.
She's got so many
plates
dishes
up
spinning.
In the air. Yeah.
Don't they like spin the dishes?
Yeah, I think it's like plates in the air.
Plates in the air, yes.
Balls in the air.
Balls and she's got balls bouncing from plate to plate.
Wow, yeah. She's at the circus.
A talent. She's a talent. But this does perfectly pair with the amazing Watch What Happens Live episode with Candace and Matt, where Candace was like, yeah, Ashley decided, this season I gotta show up, I gotta do something. Last season I was so boring. We'll get back to that, but okay. We'll get back to that. But so Ashley inviting, which this deserves a conversation. I don't love the fictional universe that we're living in, where because Mia is quote unquote hosting the trip, Wendy is the one who is ostracized.
This is why we need to like bring back the fourth wall a little more.
Yes.
It's like, it was fun back in the day to have somebody fake host a trip and make them an excuse. Like Megan K. Gamblin's wanted to find the Macy O'Toole's in Ireland type of thing.
Yeah.
But when it comes to this, where all of a sudden one cast member isn't allowed to be in the same scenes as people, that's fucked up.
Yeah. She's in detention because you're hosting the trip, where you're the one who should be in detention.
You're the one who threw a drink at her and threw your purse at her.
Yeah. And was held back.
Yeah. Producers had to come in.
Yeah. It doesn't sit right with me.
Me neither. But I wonder if the producers are like, okay, we don't want things to get violent again, so this is a solution. But if that's your solution, then let's think of some new solutions.
I think like the cast should be allowed to be like, you can't not allow this woman to be here because you're saying you're hosting a trip. Like, you're the one who like behaved violently towards her.
Yeah. The politics of the show is getting like really weird.
Yeah. Okay. So Wendy shows up, and I mean, Wendy did extend the olive branch.
Yeah. I mean, she even sat at the corner of that table. Did you notice they pulled a chair up?
Yeah.
I was like, oh,
on the edge.
Poor girl.
Yeah. But she apologized for the aiding and escalating of the evening.
Which she shouldn't have to, but like I get her doing it just to like try to smooth things over.
Yeah. And so we're dealing with that. I mean, there's not really like, Mia just won't budge. But I'm happy to see with mid-season that seems like we're just all fine.
Yeah.
which maybe save it for the end, but of this recap. But we have to get to Robin's gone tech.
Yeah.
I gotta say, Robin's having iconic moments as like a bad person.
I know. Her being a villain.
She's in her villain era, and I'm loving it.
I mean, people have been asking her to wake up.
Yeah.
Juan Dixon has been asking her to wake up.
Yeah.
And she woke up and decided villain.
Yeah. I mean...
And isn't it interesting that, like, at the beginning of the season, I thought it was going to go the complete other way.
Oh, you thought, like, a hero comes along?
I thought she was, like, trying to, like, make conversations.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
make
She was
good.
defending Candace. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ha, 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 ha. Well, I mean, as we mentioned before, she and Candace appear to be on okay terms.
Yeah. And it's interesting that Robin's becoming, like, this villain where I feel like, obviously, Giselle's always a villain, but is, like, kind of fading into the background at this current moment. Yeah. Which is interesting.
Well, I think Giselle is letting Robin get her hands dirty.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that spills into Ashley versus Candace. Because it seems like Ashley is always upset with Giselle. Mostly upset with Ashley and also upset with Robin, which causes her to do the Instagram Live. And then Ashley bringing up the Karen stuff, which I know I'm a blind Candace stan, but the internet has revealed that what she was talking about with Ashley was referencing Cha-Cha and what Cha-Cha says. And of course, listen, of course, yes, it is a crime to talk about anything that someone does not want talked about.
The internet didn't really reveal much. I watched that clip and somebody's like switching the narrative up. She's fully talking about Karen, like on her own self.
Well, no, but she's saying, but they're talking about Charisse talking about it.
Right, but you're bringing it back up.
Of course, yeah.
You're being a blind Candace stan, and I'm a Candace stan.
No, I'm the Candace stan.
Just because I didn't listen to her album as much as you. I paid money to go see her in DC.
I know, but you only listen to most of Insecure.
I bought that giant fan.
Okay. Are you a Candace fan? Okay. So I just think like it's not as bad as the truncated clip makes it seem. I think there's more context to it.
I'm rolling my eyes.
Okay. So, but you could see like the panic set in Candace.
Yeah.
And you don't see it that often.
You don't. She's usually calm, cool, collect.
Yeah. Calm, cool, collect. But we're just going back and forth. Grand Dame leaves. She comes back. I've done so much for this group. And it's like, okay, let's go to the club.
Yeah.
And I loved Candace's narration of the night. Grandma Giselle going home. And everyone else going out.
Sometimes Grandma has to go home.
And like the hazy footage that we get in the club, Wendy and Robin hugging in the club.
Know.
My jaw was on the floor. And this is one of those moments where I'm glad they showed restraint in previews and trailers of like not letting us know this would happen.
Yeah. Do you think Grandma Giselle actually went home, or did you think she had a rendezvous?
With Peter Thomas?
Allegedly. Just kidding.
But then Ashley Darby, executive producer, recording her, like, the bottom of her chin while Candace gets reactivated against Robin after a fun night.
I don't know.
I love it. Oh my God. I love it. And the Grand Dame was out the whole time. 5'9".
It was her birthday.
It was her birthday. Wow. This was worth the price of admission.
And it was free for or $60 for YouTube TV.
Okay. The Watch What Happens Live was great. Candace, always a star on Watch What Happens Live.
Yeah, making friends with Matt Rogers.
Making friends with Matt Rogers. Can't wait for her to show up as the second housewife on Las Colch.
I know. And then third housewife.
Oh yeah, to me, Garcelle transcends Housewives.
She does, but
Yeah.
I just like she like commented on his photo and was like, "You're stuck with me forever."
Oh my god.
And she went to a show, or she went to something.
No, she went to Watch What Happens Live aired while he's on tour
In DC.
and I don't know if he was in DC or somewhere in the vicinity, but she went to
Have you heard of Christmas?
Have You Heard of Christmas? The tour stop, took pictures with them as it was airing.
Beautiful.
Beautiful, love it. Okay, shall we do Salt Lake City?
Let's do it.
There's a lot of great things airing right now, and I would say Salt Lake is not one of them.
I think the problem is
The problem is,
we have girlies who think they're doing something, not doing much.
okay, my problem is, oh, yeah.
And I have a possible solution, but we can talk about the problems first.
Oh, sure. I mean, to me, the problem before was we're pretending Mary is like a normal person.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're pretending like Jen Shah deserves like reverence.
And that she's behaving like a normal person.
Yeah. And just like we have to just accept everything Jen Shah does and like play along with her rules. Why?
I know. And that's why I think the existence of some of these new friends is good, because they're the people being like, this is fucked up. And I think let's hire all three friends next year full time.
Oh, for sure.
And like center the show into like something potentially normal. Because I think like between Angie K and Dana, I think we can be normal.
Well, I mean, okay, so last week, Angie K was normal. But then she thought she had to like go and play by the rules of the show. This week of like loser behavior, wanting to now be friends with Jen Shah.
Right.
After she poured the drink on you, threw your shoes in the ocean.
And like, I think these people think that Jen Shah is like this beloved figure.
Well, I wonder, like, are we following in like Heather's footsteps of the ultimate end goal is to befriend Jen Shah? Like, that's not the end goal.
I don't know, but I do think there needs to be like some shaking up happening, and I do think a good start is to hire these three friends full time.
I mean, Dana, this episode was the voice of reason.
Yeah.
Taking it over from Angie K last episode. Like, Dana was scared last episode.
She was like sleeping in like the washing room.
This episode, she's like, guys, there's something wrong with the energy. When we're picking up in that boat of chaos, there's loser behavior all around.
I'm sorry, like Jen Shah fucking throwing the
Crudité?
carrots into the water, and then just like, and I'll give Heather a little blame for this, starting to throw shoes because Heather made a joke about throwing shoes.
I mean, Heather and Meredith were laughing as Jen was throwing the shoes.
And what's someone gonna do? Just like walk home on the gravel?
That's what I was waiting for the camera to pan down,
And it did.
It never did.
Yeah.
Like, my question for the reunion, and I believe reunion's filming already, which is interesting.
It's filmed already?
Filming.
Now?
Andy asked questions for Salt Lake City.
Sure.
Yeah.
But is it filming like today?
No. When I say filming, it's like on the near horizon.
Okay.
I would imagine if he's asking questions now, it will be filmed before Christmas.
Yeah, maybe tomorrow, Friday. He's the day off the radio.
Yeah. So my question from Dan from Brooklyn, Angie K, were you wearing shoes on the walk from the boat to the Sprinter van?
Oh my God. I used to be a no shoes kid growing up.
Playing in the mud.
I used to get sent home from Boy Scout meetings because I showed up without shoes on. And then I would walk around the gravel where my sisters played soccer with like walking on rocks. I liked it.
So where did the shoes? I'm sure you didn't leave the house without shoes on.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, you left without shoes on.
Well, yeah, because the Boy Scout meetings were like down the street, so I would just walk down barefoot.
Oh, they weren't after school.
No, they were like they were after school potentially, but I went home first.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know.
I thought usually they would like plan all that stuff like to roll into each other.
Yeah, not where
Maybe
I'm
things
from.
happen differently.
And then want to hear something really sick? In college, it was a really rainy night.
That's sick.
In Boston.
Already.
And I walked from Cortez Street, which is in like the South End, or like right about to be the South End, all the way back home to my apartment in the North End, shoeless, through the Boston streets. Isn't that sick?
I feel like if I was listening to this podcast, I would like unsubscribe. Not suggesting that, like, it makes you sick. It's like widows and orphans and Brandon walking home shoeless, toothless.
In like a major American city.
Wow. Okay. Well, I'm glad the shoes are on.
Now I never take my shoes off.
It's like you've gone like 180. It's like okay. Yeah. So we're on the boat. I can't wait for Jen Shaw to not be on the show, but I was laughing when she was sleeping in this room.
That was a comedy bit.
That was comedy. It's actually like it was surprising, to quote Trixie Mattel, I wouldn't be surprised if we never saw her again, about Angie Harrington.
And then we get the phone,
and then
FaceTime.
We get the FaceTime.
I'm so happy we got that FaceTime.
I feel like it's a good sign.
Yeah.
I do think we do have to mention off screen, we have leaked text messages this week of like Angie Harrington and Whitney Wild Rose. Mm-hmm. Like Angie is essentially like begging for someone to invite her on this trip.
Oh my God. And it's like, why aren't we inviting her on this trip? It still makes me mad.
It's like, why are the producers not just making it happen?
It's so stupid because she was, like I said last week, she was a big part of the earlier part of the season. Like it was everything, the name on everybody's lips was Angie H.
So, and then I don't understand, given this FaceTime and then what transpires at dinner, why is Heather Gay not the one?
I know.
It makes so much sense for Heather Gay to be the one.
Heather Gay.
She's the worst. I don't understand the Heather Gay stands.
The thing is, I think the idea of Heather Gay is good. And I feel like everything she does off the show, like she's like...
She sucks on Watch What Happens Live.
Right, but like I feel like on like social media and like when she was walking around BravoCon and she found that random baguette and like pocketed it and like that video went viral. Like she's like relatable queen in a lot of ways.
Sure.
I'm just saying, I'm just explaining. You want to like her. Yeah, it's the ultimate we were rooting for you.
Oh, I listen. I thought she was season 1 until the reunion. I thought she was like the one to watch.
Mm-hmm. I mean, hopefully with Jen Shaw gone.
Oh, yeah. That could be a new day.
It opens up some Heather Gay stuff that we like. Though, who knows what'll happen when we see the black eye.
Yeah. So remember when I wanted another season filmed before Jen went away?
Now you totally don't.
I'm so glad they're not doing that.
Don't even need her at the reunion.
Yeah, I don't. Well, especially like now that we have 3 friends that could come to the reunion.
Yeah. Though they're gonna like do us dirty and not bring the friends. I just know
how the other 4. It can't just be a BravoCon part 2 of the 4 screaming at each other.
Hopefully not. I'm just saying, we get disappointed a lot with these decisions.
I think that's... I don't think I have anything else to say about Salt Lake City. Are we done?
Yeah, I mean, like, they had the luau and then the dinner.
It was funny when Angie K was like, do these people know who's going to be paying? Okay. For me, the reason the season is really Miami.
It is. Holy
hell. Okay, so remember last year when you dragged me for saying Miami was the best...
I don't think I dragged you. I think I just was like, an eyebrow was raised, I think.
It was too soon because we were only... It premiered around the same time last year.
Yeah.
So we were only like 4 or 5 episodes in.
Yeah, I'm not... I never drag you. I just raised my eyebrow.
Okay, you never drag me.
I'm constantly dragging you.
I've never been dragged by Brendan. I think the minor problems I had with last year have all been solved.
What were those?
I thought Larsa was
a loser, but now I don't think that.
And giving us like 10% energy.
Yeah.
And I thought Lisa was giving us nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And now Larsa realizes she's on Housewives. She's not on Kardashians.
Mm-hmm.
We got to do something.
And Lisa's producing.
And Lisa is... So it's like... What's funny is Lisa's producing.
But not well.
And being produced.
Yeah.
It's like, were you silenced or were you silent?
A reminder before we continue talking, we're only talking about the first 2 episodes.
Oh, yes.
Because they released 4 episodes on the day we record, and like we don't have all the time in the world.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, the day we recorded, I'm not going to watch 4 episodes. Okay. So just the first 2 episodes. So Lisa, you could tell during several scenes that she's trying to produce herself storylines. Mm-hmm. Number 1, when she's at home with Lenny and the mother-in-law and the kids, and like brings up her son studying Judaism and getting in touch with his Jewish heritage like 25 times. Mm-hmm. It's like she's trying to make sure like they have it on camera.
Yeah, she's like asking them about Shabbat if they did it when he was a kid, like and that kind of thing. And I'm like, this is the first time you're asking your husband if he had Shabbat dinners as a kid.
Everyone's like, what are you talking?
Like, what?
And then the thing with talking to Gertie about Kiki, mentioning it like 25 times.
Yeah, and even the thing in episode 2 when they're on the boat and she's like, she needs to walk the plank. Is there a plank here? Is there a plank? And she says it like 17 times.
Yeah. It's like every idea she has, she really wants to like drive it home.
Manifesting, I think. You just repeat and repeat.
Meanwhile, going into this, I thought we were, in my brain, when like the news broke, I thought we had just started filming. Mm-hmm. I thought we were like not even going to see Lenny. I thought we were just going to go straight into separation, divorce, blah, blah, blah.
Nope, we're with Lenny. He's doing all of this in the middle of filming.
We're living our lives as normal. And so many times when housewives and their men separate, it's during the off season.
Yeah.
Because like they have a brain to do it during the off season.
I think these people don't know. I mean, like, especially Lisa and Lenny have been kind of reckless just in moments in the past. Remember when they were having all those like COVID parties and like they were getting dragged to filth? And that's kind of referenced in when people were talking about them renting out their backyard for parties.
Yeah.
Yeah, wild. I mean, like, the fact that we're going to have Lenny still in the house after she finds out, and, like, he's weirdly in bed.
Okay, yeah. Why don't we check in with every woman and then close it out with Lisa and Lenny? Okay. I think the perfect place to start is Adriana, because we're starting it with the new single that she released when the 4th season came out. Mm-hmm. Like that song is playing as we are getting clips of all the women.
Love that. And
I love like the respect of the show.
Yeah, they revere her even though they didn't give her a full-time spot.
I would love so much to know the money breakdown.
I know. But like it's becoming more and more clear we don't need Adriana and Marisol full time because we get so much of them. Yeah. And I don't need to be at home with Adriana because really we're at home when she's with Julia.
Yes. Her home scenes are Julia.
And I think it's so interesting that they didn't change their tunes at all. Not that they should, but I just think it's like they're just as affectionate, if not even more affectionate this year. And like I would think that like Martina would step in and be like, ugh.
Yeah. Well, Martina's like skiing.
Yeah.
I mean, like so many of the pairings of housewives like are like we're Lucy and Ethel and blah 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 blah. Like For me, these two are not putting on a show. They're just two very weird people
Yeah.
hanging out, and they have charisma.
And like, just Julia and her farm.
Like we were on the smaller farm. We've expanded to this larger farm in order to lose money.
Yeah.
Like chickens, goats are just multiplying. We can't stop them. Should we be like neutering some of them?
I don't know. She's putting like cucumbers all over her face.
She's praying to the pineapple as Adriana arrives.
Wow.
I love that we went from last season to this season and didn't make any changes.
I know. And it's just like to see Bizarro Julia walk into like Larsa's like huge like penthouse. It's just like fun to watch.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about Larsa. I think
she's giving real estate.
But I do think like part that is related to why I'm liking her more is last season it felt too stuck in the past with like the Pippin of it all.
We were in Scotty's old house.
Isn't she wonderful? No.
Isn't she allegedly dating Michael Jordan's son?
I forgot, but that sounds familiar.
It's alleged, and I think they claim to be friends.
Okay.
But even just like them being friends is a weird relationship. Given like, weren't Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen like the Lucy and Ethel of basketball back in the day?
They were the Ramonia. Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, Larsa, I'm not a Larsa fan, but
she's good for the show.
She's bringing something to the show. Whereas last year I was like, oh, the only reason you're here is because you have 1 million followers. Right?
Yeah. And I mean, like, it's interesting how the OnlyFans is coming up this year in her fight with Lisa, which is interesting. Okay.
Which brings us to that get together with Marisol and Kiki, two friends.
Yes.
Marisol, I was tired of her by the end of last season, and now I'm reinvigorated.
I am too. There's something about her. Also, a lot of these homes in the Miami franchise are beautiful,
palatial,
and palatial. I love her little cottage.
I want to spend all day there.
It's so nice and charming, and you go in through the little gate.
So, like Larsa's, obviously she's like still moving in. There's like air mattresses.
Yeah.
But like I hate how it's designed or being designed. Marisol's is like feels like home.
It's perfect.
I feel like I'm at home.
Yeah. She's really leaning into the cockies of it all.
But at least we're not
with the
sticking with tumblers.
Yeah.
I'm glad we're doing different. Like we're doing like funnels into a drink. We're shaking up orange juice jugs. Just when you think she's run out of ideas, she comes up with something.
Is she the queen of comedy of Bravo?
She's well, like. Wasn't the special like queens of comedy? So like she's one of the queens of comedy.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so Marisol, glad to have her back. Kiki, an elevated role.
She's doing more. She's bringing it.
Well, she has confessionals this time.
Yeah, and she's also like causing the drama, which is what we need.
Well, it was beautiful watching the woman who's trying to produce, Lisa.
Yeah.
Like, as she's doing it, realize she fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she's like, oh, I should not have done this.
Yeah. Her, like, talking shit about Larsa's apartment building.
Yeah. The apartment for the drug dealers and the OnlyFans and the hookers and
the most, like, weirdly classist statement, but, like, not because it's this huge penthouse apartment.
Yeah. So, it was like she saw the car wreck that she was causing as she was saying it.
I think she's going to be seeing a lot of car wrecks this season.
Yeah.
As her life comes undone.
Okay. Dr. Nicole, episode 1, she was not really
She was separate, yeah.
But we were kind of catching up with her. Mm-hmm. I gotta say, like, I love her love?
Her fiance, if you really like land and settle with him, I would put him up there, top hot husbands.
Is it a beard or is he a hot?
I don't know. That's hard to say.
It's a lot of times things are hiding, but no.
But there's something about
hot. He's charismatic.
Yeah, and that's part of being
That's
hot.
part of being hot. Yeah, it is very much being part of being hot. No, I agree with you 100%.
Okay.
Yeah, they just like look like they like each other.
They're in love.
They're in love. Love wins.
I want it to be, I know you don't eat pizza, but I wanted to be making pizzas with them in that little pizza oven.
Oh, yeah.
It did look good.
Yeah, no, I could have like a cheeseless pizza in the oven. Sure. But then when we did get the scene with her mom, it's like, oh, you're mean.
Yeah.
And it's like, I could actually see that.
Yeah. But like, the scene with the dad last season was like so bad. On the dad's part.
On the dad's part. Okay, yeah.
And like, let the kid be the kid.
I mean, I guess like the meta conversation is like you're bringing him on to like humiliate him.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Okay. Gertie. I love Gertie.
Love being with Gertie, and then like I also like that. Sometimes she kind of felt like a friend last season because like Alexia had hired her to help with the wedding, which obviously went horribly. And it really feels like Gertie's up there now.
The Gertie Alexia feud, which is definitely heavier on Alexia's part, feels crazy.
I know. Like Alexia has this chip on her shoulder against Gertie, and I don't think Gertie like really did anything that bad. Alexia's reasons are all really weird.
It's Judician.
Yeah, like she wanted me to fill out a questionnaire.
Like she just wants
input. Your exactly like what you want from your wedding, like a place to jump off of. Like I fill out surveys all the time at work.
Sure.
I will say, little tidbit. Gertie met with her publicist in the second episode, and he used to be Aviva Drescher's publicist.
Oh my God.
And
I read that text from you and then watched the episode, but then forgot to like take notes. So I need to really go back.
But yeah, I think he appeared in an episode of Roni when Aviva was doing a photo shoot for her book, Leggy Blonde.
Oh.
And he probably appeared more than that, but I met them once.
Is this at the photo shoot?
Yeah.
Is the publicist there?
Yeah. He was like the gay guy there.
Oh, I thought that was the cameraman.
Maybe there was a cameraman who was gay too.
Oh no, I wasn't like paying attention to what that person's role was. Like that was the person who was talking to her before the photos.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I saw them walk by at BravoCon, and I was like, that's the guy who was with Aviva, because I had met them in like 2013 at the Night of 1,000 Gowns.
Okay. Alexia, as much as like I'm not loving her Gertie stance, she always wins me over with Frankie.
I know.
Like how loving she is to him, like melts my heart.
Him eating the cake at the test thing.
Oh my God.
Also, you texted this today, but I had been thinking it. She and Teresa
are merging into one.
Identical. And I think it's because that like Teresa goes down to Miami for things.
They like their looks are merging.
Yeah.
And they've done a housewife on housewife content together because everyone says they are one and the same.
It's wild.
I mean, it's not one for one, but it's pretty close.
It's there. It's there.
I can't believe we got like a wedding party episode
already.
2.
I know.
Yeah. And then Lisa. She's the last one, right? We talked about everyone.
Yeah, I mean, I'm grateful that we are going to see some of the most like intense Housewives episodes coming up soon. Just like what she's going through is big and real and bad.
And there was a lot in the trailer But then for there to be so much in these first 2 episodes, so much in previews.
Them using like the 2 weeks later. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Just that one scene, cooking the borscht and the wine room being locked and the kids.
You could tell Lenny was out. Like him getting so pissed about her in the wine room.
Yeah. And then he's solving the wine room problem and telling her, and she's annoyed because she's producing the other storyline.
Yeah. And it's like, we were just dealing with this together. Why can't I give you an update? But then them having the whole wine room, and then like, she's like, oh, I keep a little stash here. And it's like a wine cooler the size of anyone like whose normal's house is.
Well, so like when someone has one of those wine coolers in their home, you're like, well, and this is more of a New York thing, but like when someone has a wine cooler like that in New York, you're like, oh my God, like,
it's so big.
This is the chicest wine cooler I've ever seen. And for Lisa, it's like, this is where the junk is. This is the $2 chunk.
Yeah.
Man, I mean, roll footage, I think, like at our end of Miami season 4 wrap up, I was like, Lisa could go.
Yeah.
Could you imagine if we had lost Lisa? Wow.
And then just one last thing.
Yeah.
Jill Zarin.
Jill Zarin. My Unorthodox Life. Ultimate Girls Trip 2. Miami season 5.
Maybe she's actually the hardest working person in reality TV.
Yeah, I mean, she's given Brandi a run for her money.
Wait, so she has a house in Boca. Is that close enough to potentially have a friend of role on Miami Housewives?
The house is in Boca?
I think so.
I thought, okay. Maybe. Yeah, sure. I feel like all those, like, a lot of the spots, like Fort Lauderdale, Miami,
Palm Beach, maybe
Boca. I think they're all like, it's like almost like Potomac. Like they're all kind of in driving distance to each other. Sound off in the comments below.
Yeah, I know nothing about.
No, very little. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Freak of the Week and the One True Queen.
Okay, so our Freak of the Week is actually like possibly one of the most enjoyable episodes of Watch What Happens Live in a very long time.
Enjoyable is maybe some people's adjectives. To me, it was somewhat enjoyable, but like disturbing as well.
Oh, I had the best time.
Oh, okay.
So it was Bethany Frankel and Jeff Lewis on.
Okay.
And just like it went off the rails so many times because first of all, Andy started it by acknowledging that he had words about Bethany in the press and she wasn't thrilled with those. And then it just kept on going and going.
So for me, and why it's freakish, is like, man, if we are like considering Bethany for legacy, this makes me say like, no, thank you.
Oh, she's not going to do it.
Yeah. But I feel like there was a world where it would have been possible.
Yeah.
But this really closed the book for me.
She's gotten really big for her britches. God, we're always giving her the Freak of the Week.
Deservedly. And tune in on other spaces soon.
Yeah, we'll make that announcement later. Yeah, she's just not bad. And then a caller called in and asked why she unfollowed Kyle Richards. And she had this weird convoluted answer. And then Jeff's face. And he was like, he called her out.
So normally like Jeff annoys me. But Jeff was kind of giving it to me. On this episode.
He was giving it. I listen to Jeff Lewis live every day.
You're a chump. So, like, do you think he has adjusted his persona?
Yeah, he has gotten a little lighter.
But also, I think he knows what he's doing more now that he's doing it every day.
Yeah, and he talked today about how he ended up apologizing to Bethany for some, like, how he acted on the show, even though how he acted wasn't bad, really, at all.
Well, it was kind of just, like, sitting back and making faces.
Yeah, and he likes to talk about how he is a changed person than what he was, like, 5 years ago.
he's a terror too, though, at the end of the day. So that's, I mean, all around, it was just like, even, and then like Andy dealing with the two of them.
It was also just like fun because it was like classic Bravo celebrity people.
Well, it was, you said this, it was vintage Watch What Happens Live.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Watch What Happens Live does not go off the rails like this.
But that's like kind of what it was designed to do back in the day.
Yeah.
Like that's why they ply them with like alcohol and like
Yeah. Wow.
Who is our one true queen, Dan?
Our one true queen, Keke Palmer. I mean, the world was excited when the Saturday Night Live hosting gig was announced. And not only did she kill it, specifically there was a Hello Kitty skit that we were watching the next morning. I mean, we watched the episode, but that one skit, I was crying, laughing.
Oh my God.
And I think it was a reference to an I Don't Think So, Honey, that like Megan Amron, or like she's like the internet. Remember that internet person?
Maybe.
Yeah. It was like about Hello Kitty, like being the size of 3 apples and like being a human and not a cat, whatever. It was so funny. I was like crying tears, but also Keke's pregnancy announcement during the monologue was the most iconic pregnancy announcement since Beyonce Love on Top.
I need to watch the episode.
You do.
I was at Shipwreck, I think.
Yeah. Tune into the Patreon pre-show for more on Brendan in Provincetown.
One thing I didn't mention on that, but I found myself in a space at one point where I was in a weirdly suburban area of P-Town that I had never known existed. It felt like being in the suburbs of like Long Island where like the houses are really big.
Okay, yeah. No, I mean, like as you go farther away from the strip, that's where like people live.
Well, now I know that. But me walking there in the dark.
Shoeless? Toothless?
No, toothless. I had shoes on. I was bringing a gift because I was invited to this random space. Sure. But yeah, you learn something new every day.
Learn more over on comethroughqueen.com. Links to the Patreon, links to our social, links to the private Facebook group, links to Instagram. You got it all. And like, comment, subscribe, heart, share, retweet.
Love us, please retweet.
We'll see you next week. Bye.
I wanna see ya come through, queen.